the most resilient parasite? An idea. A single idea from the human mind can build cities. An idea can transform the world and rewrite all the rules. Which is why I have to steal it.
Never recreate from your memory. Always imagine new places.
He's hiding something, and we need to find out what that is.
We gotta break out of here. Give him the kick! This was not a part of the plan!
Wake me up! Wake me up!
Okay, good evening. Right, this is a sort of like a video response to what GabnDad has just done for her revisit to Inception, the movie. I've just watched her video where she talks a bit more about, you know, this really complex and, you know, intricately formed film done by Christopher Nolan. Obviously, not only directed it, but he also wrote it as well. And it's like watching that film. I mean, I've watched it 3 times now, and I saw it for the 3rd time on Saturday, and I still cannot get over just how brilliantly yet so complex that this film was done, the manner that it was made in. I mean, how Nolan even came up with the idea, how he was able to, you know, tell this story in such a, you know, deliberately complicated manner, and yet at the same time, you know, you're watching this film, and if you haven't seen it, okay, I'm going to warn you right now, I am going to state some spoilers from the film. So if you haven't seen it, I suggest you go and watch it, and then you'll figure out, or hopefully figure out what I'm talking about. But you know, the film starts off with him washed upon a shore on a beach, and he meets this old Chinese man who is waiting for someone, and you know, that's how the film starts off, and we're thinking, well, who's he waiting for? What? You know, he mentions a half-remembered dream, and then it cuts into Leonardo DiCaprio character Dom Cobb, you know, asking the question that you probably heard in the trailers, you know, what is the most resilient parasite? You know, and the answer obviously is an idea. Saying that when you plant an idea into someone's mind, you know, it sticks with them, it grows into their mind, it becomes, yeah, it's like a cancer in some sort. And this proves apparent later on in the film when we find out that he actually performed Inception on his wife. That's how he knew that it was possible. The idea that he gave to his wife was that you know, the world that they were in was not real, that in order to escape that, you know, fantasy or reality, whatever you want to call it, that they were in, they would have to, you know, that death was the only answer. They would have to kill themselves. But even after, you know, they wake up from their long dream, and boy, it was a long dream. She, you know, his wife, played by Marion Cotillard, still believed that the reality that they were in was not real, that she was still dreaming. And it still messes with your mind even by that point. And everything else that happens in between, you know, where Ken Watanabe's character, Sato, offers Dom this job of, you know, Inception, everything that happens from that moment on, and then, you know, we go into one dream, and I still can't even remember whose dream we go into the first time round. I think the first person's dream that we go into the first time round, that they perform, that they are trying to plant the idea into Robert Fisher's mind, was Yusuf's dream, who's the chemist. He was the guy who formulated the compound and put it together and everything. So they go into his dream first of all, and that's when they enter the like the city. And don't forget that Ellen Page's character Ariadne creates the surroundings. She's the architect. She creates all the buildings and everything. So they enter his dream. Then the second dream that they enter is Arthur's dream, who's played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's known as the point man, as it were. So it's his as the second dream. The third dream that they enter, this is where it gets interesting, right? They tell Robert Fisher, who's played by Cillian Murphy, by the way, that they're going to enter his uncle's dream, who is Peter Browning, played by Tom Berenger. But after they've put both Robert and Peter to sleep, it's actually Robert's mind that they're going into. So they go into Robert's mind, but then something happens whilst they're in Robert's dream. Dom Cobb's wife, Moll, played by Marion Cotillard, kills Robert Fisher. Therefore, he's dead in the third dream, but it doesn't wake him up in the previous dreams beforehand, because, well, the compound that Yusuf makes is so heavily sedated that if you die in a dream, you're put into what's known as limbo. Okay, limbo is, as Arthur described it, a place of pure, raw subconscious. It's basically got nothing in there apart from whatever the last person who was there had created. So in this case, Dom Cobb, he was already in limbo with his wife. Okay, and then it kind of gets more and more complicated again, because not only is Robert Fisher killed in the third dream, Dom and Ariadne go to sleep again to go into Dom Cobb's dream to get Fisher out, but not just to get Fisher out, but also to get Sato out, because in the first dream Sato gets shot. So as each level goes on and on and on, yeah, it gets, you know, you start to think, what the fuck is going on? And you're thinking, yeah, what's just happened? And as I say, the ending as well, it's still totally ambiguous. It leaves a door open to whether or not what we actually saw throughout the entire film was reality, or was he dreaming? Because obviously the Dom Cobb's trying to get to see his kids again, and you know, he's not able to see his kids because of what happened with his wife. He was blamed for it in some sense, but he wants to see his kids, and throughout the film we see the back of the children. We don't see their faces till the very end, and that's why I'm saying that the very end as well, it's still, yeah, it's totally open, as it were. It kind of leaves you with that question, saying, is it real or is he dreaming? So as I say, if you haven't seen it, you've pretty much just gotten spoiled from what I've just said. But if you have seen it more than once, let me know what you actually thought of it, because I think I still want to go and see it again. I might go and see it 4 times. But seriously, it really is not an easy film to follow, but I think once you get the basic idea of what's going on, you pretty much do understand what's happening. But yeah, so I'll let you decide and tell me what you think about it. See ya.